are at stage 4, paragraph page 269. And our last headword was lucky, newer type of lesson. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's start our revision. Ready? Here
Okay.
you go. What can we say instead of I must study? What can we say instead of I must study? Instead of
Well,
I
instead
must
of
study,
I must
we can
study,
say
we
I
can
have to
say I have
study.
to study.
Do you have to eat if you want to live? Do you have to eat if you want to live? Yes, I
Yes,
have
I
to eat
have to
if I
eat
want to
if I
live.
want to live.
Did you have to get up early yesterday morning? Did you have to get up early yesterday morning? Yes or no?
No,
I didn't
I
have
didn't
to
have
get up
to get
early
up early
yesterday morning.
yesterday morning.
Will you have to wait if you arrive too early for the next lesson? Will you have to wait if you arrive too early for the next lesson? Yes, I'll have to
Yes,
wait
I'll
if
have to
I
wait
arrive
if
too
I
early
arrive
for the
too
next
early
lesson.
for the next lesson.
Very good. Which is it right to say you mustn't smoke in this building or you don't have to smoke in this building? Which is it right to say you mustn't smoke in this building or you don't have to smoke in this building? It's right to
It's
say
right to
you
say
mustn't
you
smoke
mustn't
in this
smoke in
building.
this building.
Which is it right to say I mustn't get up early on Saturday or I don't have to get up early on Saturday? Which is it right to say I mustn't get up early on Saturday or I don't have to get up early on Saturday? It's right to
It's
say
right to
I don't
say
have
I
to
don't
get
have
up
to get
early
up
on
early
Saturday.
on Saturday.
Must you study if you want to learn English? Must you study if you want to learn English? Yes, I must
Yes, I
study if
must
I want to
study
learn
if I want
English.
to learn English.
Must you study 10 hours a day if you want to learn English? Must you study 10 hours a day if you want to learn English? No, I don't
No,
have
I
to
don't have
study
to
10
study
hours a
for 10
day
hours a
if I
day
want
if
to
I
learn
want to
English.
learn English.
Very good. Okay, how do we sometimes form a noun from a verb? How do we sometimes form a noun from a verb? We
We
sometimes form a
sometimes
noun
form a
from a verb
noun from
by
a verb
adding the
by
letters
adding the
er
letters
to the verb.
er to the verb.
Give me some examples. Give me some examples, please. Eat, eater.
Eat,
Walk,
eater.
walker.
Walk,
Speak,
walker.
speaker.
Speak, speaker.
Are you a hard worker? Are you a hard worker? Yes or no?
No,
I'm
I'm
not.
not a hard worker.
I work very little.
I'm I
I
work
work
very
very
little.
little. Are you a complete beginner in English? Are you a complete beginner in English? No, I'm not
No,
a
I'm
complete
not a
beginner
complete
in English.
beginner in
I
English.
began.
I began 10 years ago.
Very good. Are you a heavy sleeper? Are you a heavy sleeper? Yes or no?
No,
I'm
I'm
not
not a
a
heavy
heavy.
sleeper.
I'm a light sleeper.
I'm a light sleeper.
Who's your favorite writer? Who's your favorite writer? My favorite writer
My
is.
favorite writer is Haruki Murakami.
Very good. Do you hope you live a very long time? Do you hope you live a very long time? Yes or no?
Yes, I hope
I
I
live
live for a
a
long
very,
time.
very good.
Very long time.
Do you think it's important to be positive about life and full of hope for the future? Do you think it's important to be positive about life and full of hope for the future? Yes, I think
Yes, I
it's
think it's
important to be
important to
positive about
be
life
positive about
and
life
full of
and
hope
have
for the
full of
future.
hope for the future.
Do you hope the weather will be sunny tomorrow? Do you hope the weather will be sunny tomorrow? Yes, I
Yes,
hope the
I
weather
hope the
will be
weather will
sunny
be
tomorrow.
sunny tomorrow.
Do you believe everything people tell you? Do you believe everything people tell you? No, I don't
No, I
believe
don't believe
everything people tell
everything
me.
people tell
Some
me.
things I believe,
Sometimes some things I
and
believe
some
and
things
some
I
things
disbelieve.
I disbelieve.
Do you believe there is life on other planets? Do you believe there is life on other planets? Yes or no?
Yes,
I believe
I believe
there's life on
there's
other planets.
life on other planets.
Do you believe it will be possible in the future for people to live until they're 200 years old? Do you believe it will be possible in the future for people to live until they're 200 years old? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
believe
don't
it will
believe
be
that it
possible
will
in
be
the future
possible in
for
the
people
future
to live
for people to
until
live
they're 200
until
years
they are
old.
200 years old.
Very good. What's the difference between to do the shopping and to go shopping? What's the difference between to do the shopping and to go shopping? The difference between
Difference
to do the
between to do
shopping
the
and to go
shopping and
shopping
to
is
go
that
shopping
to
is
do
that
the
to
shopping
do the
means to
shopping
buy the
is
things. To do the
buy the
shopping
things.
means
To
to do
do the shopping means
to buy the things
to buy the
that are
things
necessary for
that
the
are
house,
necessary for the
such as
house,
food,
such as
etc.
food, etc.
Whereas to go
Whereas
shopping
to go
means to
shopping
visit
means
shops
to
generally.
visit shops generally.
Very good. When you do the shopping, do you make a list before going to the supermarket? When you do the shopping, do you make a list before going to the supermarket? Yes or no? When I
Yes.
do the
When
shopping,
I do
I
the
make a
shopping,
list
I
before
make a list
going to the
before going
supermarket.
to the supermarket.
Do you ever go shopping and come home with nothing? Do you ever go shopping and come home with nothing? Yes or no? I
Yes, I
sometimes go
sometimes
shopping
go
and come
shopping
home with
and come
nothing.
home without nothing.
Do people generally smile when they're unhappy? Do people generally smile when they're unhappy? No,
No,
people don't
people
generally
don't
smile
generally
when
smile
they're
when they're
unhappy.
unhappy.
Does good news put a smile on your face? Does good news put a smile on your face? Yes, good
Yes, good
news puts a
news
smile
put
on my
smile
face.
on my face.
Do you have to pay a tax to the government if you buy a foreign car? Do you have to pay a tax to the government if you buy a foreign car? Yes or no? I
Yes,
have to
I
pay a
have to
tax
pay a
to the
tax
government
if, to
if I
the
buy
government if
a
I
foreign
buy
car.
a foreign car.
Very good. Okay. Next, what are the three forms of an English verb? What are the three forms of an English verb? The three
The
forms
three
of an
forms
English
of an
verb
English
are the
verb
present,
are
the
the
past,
present,
and the
the
past
past, and the
participle.
past participle.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. See, saw, seen. See,
See, saw,
saw, seen.
seen.
I see him every week.
I see him every
I
week.
saw him
I
last
saw
week.
him last
I
week.
have seen him this
I've
week.
seen him this week.
Very good. What are the three forms of kill? What are the three forms of kill? The three
The
forms
three
of
forms
kill
of
are
kill
kill,
is
kill,
are
kill.
kill, killed, killed.
What are the three forms of put? What are the three forms of put? The three
The
forms of
three
put
forms of
are
put
put.
are put, put, put.
What are the three forms of come? What are the three forms of come? The three
The
forms
three
of come
forms of
are
come are
come,
come,
came,
came,
come.
come.
What are the three forms of give? What are the three forms of give? The three
The
forms of
three
give
forms of
are
give
give,
are
gave,
give,
given.
gave, given.
Very good. Which do you prefer, cats or dogs? Which do you prefer, cats or dogs? I prefer
I prefer dogs to
to
cats.
cats. When what is often the result of putting a cat and a dog together? What is often the result of putting a cat and a dog together? The result of
The
putting a
result
cat
of
and a
putting
dog
cats and
together
dogs
is
together
often a lot of
is
noise.
often a lot of noise.
Do people in your country think it's lucky to see a black cat? Do people in your country think it's lucky to see a black cat? Yes or no?
No,
People in my
people
country
in my
don't think
country
it's
don't
lucky
think
to
it's
see a
lucky
black
to see a black cat.
They think it's
They think
unlucky.
it's unlucky.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have new word. Okay, so let's have the first words. Okay, destroy,
Destroy,
document.
document.
Very good. Okay, listen, destroy is a verb. Document is a noun. A document is a piece of paper with something important written on it. For example, I sometimes destroy documents from my bank. Let's practice. Do you ever destroy documents that you receive from your bank? Do you ever destroy documents that you receive from your bank? Yes or no? I
Yes, I
sometimes
sometimes
destroy
break
documents
destroy
that I
documents
receive from my
that I
bank.
received from a bank.
Can a fire destroy a building? Can a fire destroy a building? Yes, a fire can
Yes,
destroy
a
a
fire can
building.
destroy a building.
Very good. Next, repeat. Bin,
In
Scotland.
Scotland.
Very good. Okay, listen. The past participle of the verb to be is been. Scotland is a noun. It is the name of one of the British countries. Let's practice. What's the past participle of the verb to be? What's the past participle of the verb to be? The past
The past
participle of the
participle
verb
of
to
the
be
verb to
is
be
been.
is been.
Have you been to the cinema this week? Have you been to the cinema this week? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
haven't
haven't
been
been
to the
to the
cinema this
cinema
week.
this week.
Very good. Have you ever been to Scotland? Have you ever been to Scotland? Yes or no?
No, I've
I've
never
never
been
been.
to Scotland.
Have you been to see the film Titanic? Have you been to see the film Titanic? Yes or no? I've
Yes,
been to
I've
see the
been to
film
see the
Titanic.
film Titanic.
Very good. Next, repeat. Crime.
Crime,
Guilty.
guilty,
Innocent.
innocent,
Against the law.
against the law.
Very good. Okay, listen. Crime is a noun. It is something that a person does which or she should not do. Guilty and innocent are both adjectives. For example, if you take something from a shop without paying, you're guilty of a crime. The opposite of guilty is innocent. Against the law means not okay by the law. For example, If you take something from a shop without paying it, it's a crime. It's against the law.
Mm.
Let's practice. What's a crime? What's a crime? A crime is an
Crime
action which
is an
is
action
against the
which
law.
is against the law.
If I take something from a shop without paying, am I guilty of a crime? If I take something from a shop without paying, am I guilty of a crime? Yes. If you
Yes, if
take
you take
something from a shop
something
without
from a
paying,
shop without paying
you're guilty of a
it,
crime.
you're guilty of a crime.
What's the opposite of guilty? What's the opposite of guilty? The
The
opposite of
opposite
guilty
of
is
guilty
innocent.
is innocent.
Do you always feel guilty when you do something wrong? Do you always feel guilty when you do something wrong? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
yes,
always
I
feel
always
guilty
feel
when
guilty
I do
when
something wrong.
doing something wrong.
Is there very much crime in the town where you live? Is there very much crime in the town where you live? Yes or no?
No,
There isn't
there
very
isn't
much crime
very much crime
in the town where I
in the
live.
town where I live.
Very good. Okay, next will be present perfect.
Pre- mhm. Present
Present perfect.
perfect.
Very good. Okay, now let's talk about the present perfect and its third form. The construction is have plus past participle. Okay, repeat. I have eaten.
I have eaten.
Experience.
Experience.
Very good. Okay, listen. We form the present perfect with the verb have and the past participle. For example, I have arrived or she has written. Okay. Next, listen. The present perfect has three common uses. Number one, we use it to talk about experiences. For example, if I say I have eaten Chinese food, it means I have experience of eating Chinese food. If I say I have been to Paris, it means that I have experience of being in Paris. Let's practice. Do we use the present perfect to talk about our experiences? Do we use the present perfect to talk about our experiences? Yes, we
Yes,
use the
use
present perfect.
present perfect to
Talk about our
talk about our
experiences.
experiences.
Have you eaten Spanish food? Have you eaten Spanish food? Yes or no? I
Yes,
have eaten Spanish food.
I've eaten Spanish food.
Have you visited Paris? Have you visited Paris? Yes or no? I
No, I
haven't
haven't
visited
visited
Paris.
Paris.
Have you ever worked on a farm? Have you ever worked on a farm? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
have never
haven't
worked.
worked
I
for.
have never worked on a
I've
farm.
never worked on a
Oh,
farm
very good. Next, repeat. Four.
for
Up to now.
up to now.
Very good. Number two. We also use the present perfect to talk about the duration of an action up to now. For example, if I say I have lived here for 3 years, it means that I'm living here now and I started living here 3 years ago. Let's practice. Do we also use the present perfect to talk about the duration of an action up to now? Do we also use the present perfect to talk about the duration of an action up to now? Yes, we
Yes,
also use the
we also
present
use
perfect
the present
to talk
perfect
about
to
the
talk
duration
about the
of an
duration
action up to
of an
now.
action up to now.
How long have you lived in your city? How long have you lived in your city? I have lived in this
I've
city
lived in this city
for
for 25 years.
very long. Okay. Have you studied English for more than 6 months? Have you studied English for more than 6 months? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
have
have
studied English
studied
for more
English
than 6 months.
for more than 6 months.
Very good. Okay, next, number three. We can also use the present perfect to talk about the result now of a past action. For example, I have eaten too much. It means that I feel bad. She has arrived. It means that she is here now. Let's practice. Do we also use the present perfect to talk about the result now of a past action? Do we also use the present perfect to talk about the result now of a past action? Yes, we also
Yes, we
use
also
the present
use the
perfect to talk
present
about
perfect
the
to
result
talk
now
about the result
of a
now
past
of
action.
a past action.
Have you eaten too much today? Have you eaten too much today? Yes or no?
No,
I
I haven't
haven't
eaten
eaten
too
too
much
much
today.
today. Has everybody come to the lesson today? Has everybody come to the lesson today? Yes or no?
Yes,
Everybody has come
everybody
to
has
the
come
lesson
to the
today.
lesson today.
Very good. Next repeat. Too many.
Too many,
Too much.
too much,
Excessive.
excessive.
Very good. Okay, listen. Excessive is an adjective. It means much more than necessary.
Mm.
Too many and too much are adverbs. Too many and too much means an excessive number or quantity and therefore not a good thing. We use too many and too much with nouns, but with adjectives and adverbs, we only use the word too. For example, we say too many cars because cars is a noun, and too much food. But we say when adjective too short, too quickly, too black, too dirty. Let's practice. What do too many and too much mean? What do too many and too much mean? Too many
Too
and
many
too
and
much
too
mean
much
an
means
excessive
an
number
excessive
or
number
quantity,
or
and
quantity,
therefore not a good
and
thing.
therefore not a good thing.
Do children feel ill if they eat too many sweets? Do children feel ill if they eat too many sweets? Yes, children
Yes,
feel
children
ill
feel
if they
ill
eat
if
too
they
many
eat too
sweets.
many sweets.
Do you agree there are too many people in the world with too little food to eat? Do you agree there are too many people in the world with too little food to eat? Yes, I
Yes, I
agree. There are
agree.
too
There
many
are too
people
many
in the world
people in the
with
world
too little food
with
to
too
eat.
little food to eat.
Very good. Are you too short to touch the ceiling? Are you too short to touch the ceiling? Yes, I'm too
Yes, I'm
short
too
to touch
short
the
to
ceiling.
touch the ceiling.
Do you think a millionaire has too much money? Do you think a millionaire has too much money? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
think a
think
millionaire
millionaire has
has
too much money.
very good. Okay, next listen. We can also use too much for a verb. For example, if I eat too much, I feel bad.
Mm.
Let's practice. If people eat too much, do they feel bad? If people eat too much, do they feel bad? Yes. If
Yes,
people
if
eat too
people eat
much,
too
they
much,
feel
they
bad.
feel bad.
If you work too much, do you feel tired all the time? If you work too much, do you feel tired all the time? Yes. If I work
Yes, if
too
I work
much,
too
I feel
much, I
tired all
feel
the
tired
time.
all the day, all the time.
Very good. Next repeat. Age.
Each,
Marry.
marry,
Get married.
get married.
Very good. Okay, listen. Age is a noun. Age means the number of years someone has lived. For example, I'm 43 years old. My age is 43. Marry is a verb. If we marry someone, we became their husband or wife. To get married means to marry someone. For example, Mr. Brown's wife is Mrs. Brown. He is married to Mrs. Brown. Mr. Brown got married to Mrs. Brown. In my country, most people get married at the age of 30. Let's practice. At what age did you begin school? At what age did you begin school? I began school
I
at
began
the
school
age of.
at the age of 6.
Which do you think is the best age for a person to get married? Which do you think is the best age for a person to get married? I think the
I
best
think
age
the
for
best
a
age for
person to get
for
married
a person to get
is
married
about.
is about 30.
Very good. Which do you think was the best age in history to live in? Which do you think was the best age in history to live in? I think,
I think
yeah, prehistoric age, dinosaur age, modern age,
uh eh,
today, this day.
mm, modern
The modern age
modern
was the
age
best age
was the best
in
age
history to live
in
in.
history to live
Yeah,
in.
we don't want to live in the dinosaur age. Okay. Do people sometimes marry too young? Do people sometimes marry too young? Yes, people
Yes, people
sometimes marry
sometimes
too young.
marry too young.
Very good. Next repeat, average.
Average.
Very good. Okay, listen. Average is an adjective. For example, in my country, most people work for about 8 hours every day. Or we can say, the average number of hours that people work in my country is about 8 hours every day. Let's practice. How much does the average meal cost in the average restaurant in the place where you live? How much does the average meal cost in the average restaurant in the place where you live? The average
The
meal costs
average
about
meal cost about uh, 1,000 yen
in the
in
average restaurant
the average
in the
restaurants
place where I live.
in the place where I live.
What's the average number of hours a day that people work in your country? What's the average number of hours a day that people work in your
Yeah.
country? The
The
average
average
numbers of
hour
hours a
numbers of
day
hours a
that
day
people work in
that
my
people work
country
in my
is
country is about 8 hours.
about how many floors has the average building in your street got? About how many floors has the average building in your street got? The average
The
building in my
average
street
building
got
in my
about
street got about 8 floors.
Very good. Okay, let's repeat. Thick.
Thick,
Very good. One more. Thick. Thin.
thick, thin.
Very good. Okay. Thick is an adjective. Okay, one moment. Let me just load my book. It's still loading.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Thick is an adjective. For example, this book is thick.
Mhm.
Thin is also an adjective. For example, this piece of paper is thin. Thin is the opposite of thick. Okay, let's practice. Is this piece of paper thick? Is this piece of paper thick? No, that
No, the
piece of
piece of
paper
paper
isn't
isn't
thick.
thick,
It's thin.
it's thin.
Is your book thinner than the glass in the window? Is your book thinner than the glass in the window? No, my book
No,
isn't
my
thinner
book
than
isn't
the glass
thinner
in the
than the
window.
glass in the
It's
window.
thicker
It's thicker than
with the
thicker.
glass in the
Okay,
window.
than
Very good.
the glass of window.
Next, repeat. Big,
Big,
little.
little.
Very good. Okay, listen. Big and little are both adjectives. Okay, instead of the word large and small, we can use the words big and little. Okay, let's practice. What words can we use instead of the words large and small? What words can we use instead of the words large and small? We can use the
We can
words
use
big and
the
little
verbs big and little
instead of the
instead of
words large and
the
small.
words large and small.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Mhm.
Okay, so our reading is at stage 3, paragraph page 203. Last headword was jump. Okay, please start at page 204. Headword
Mhm.
corner at.
Okay. Corner at. What's this? It's a corner of the table. Are you sitting in a corner of this room? Yes, I'm sitting in a corner of this room. Can you sit at the corner of a round table? No, I can't sit at the corner of a round table. Why not? Because a round table has no corners.